let's talk for a minute, just a couple minutes about the system, because we have to understand what has taken place. And if you watch the show a lot, you understand this already. In fact, the news story itself didn't surprise you, but let's cover this again, because I know we have a bunch of new viewers. So listen, in every communist society, there are elite communists and there are street communists. They are separate divisions. The street communists are generally true believers, always malcontented, violent, mentally ill, and they have a job to do. Their job is to commit acts of violence on behalf of the revolution. So they will murder, they will vandalize, they will rob, they do all the things you see America's street animals doing all the time. That's their role. Then there are elite communists. These are politicians, judges, media people. They have a role to play too. They're generally not true believers. They just care about money and power, but they have a role to play, you see. They're giving out orders to the street communists because they want them to go do all these things. And the street communists do it, but why do they give out the orders? Why are they able, I should say, to give out the orders? They're able to give out the orders because the street communists understand when they get in trouble for breaking the law, and eventually they will, elite communists, judges, politicians, media people will be there to cover for them. This is the relationship. You are stuck in the middle. Elite communists, street communists, and then there's you. For instance, good example, Chuck Schumer is the most powerful Democrat in Washington, D.C. Chuck Schumer got up, you remember this, gave a speech threatening Supreme Court justices with the whirlwind.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
The whirlwind? Pay the price? What could he mean by that? Supreme Court justices are appointed for a lifetime. Can't vote them out or something? What could he mean by that? Why would he even say that? Well, here's why he says it. He wanted the Supreme Court to make decisions that benefited him, and they weren't doing it. They were frustrating him. So Chuck Schumer, he understands the street animals are ready there, violent, mentally ill, ready to attack. He gets up and he gives a speech like that, but it's not a speech. You have to understand, the street animals, they interpret those speeches as orders, marching orders, no different than when I was in the Marine Corps and my platoon sergeant turns and he says, go clear that bunker. That's an order. I have to follow it. The street communists hear that and they hear orders. And so one of these street animals got on a plane, flew from California with weapons, ready to assassinate Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. By the grace of God, I believe it was his sister who turned him in, was caught just outside of Brett Kavanaugh's house. Okay, you got all that. That's an old story. But here's the great part. Well, the horrible part. A judge appointed by Joe Biden just sentenced him to 8 years in prison. Far years below the sentencing guidelines. That guy should have done 20, 30 years in prison, attempted assassination of a Supreme Court justice. 8 years. Why? Well, the elites gave the orders. The streets acted out on those orders. Then, what's their job? The elites. The elites provided cover for the streets. This is a horrible, horrible system. It is exactly what the communists did in every place they've ever done. They've ever taken power. They put in these judges to do exactly what our judges are doing. We cannot save the United States of America in its entirety without impeaching judges. I'm sorry. I hate to inform the low-T GOP, but you're going to have to get your hands dirty and start impeaching judges. Period. All right? I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.